Alright. Main story quest. So, I will be making these videos a lot shorter. Anytime I go to take a break, I will be ending the stream and starting a new one when I get back. That way I don't have to worry about my audio not coming back on, as well as it just makes for an easier to watch video, rather than being 3 to 6 hours long like some of my other ones. So, without further ado, here we go. Where to now? If there is anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed his decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist. Then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you, Shinobu? Will you continue along with us? Aye. Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Olympus. I see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back towards Anagoras. Yeah. I want this mount. If this is a mount that was available prior to Endwalker, could someone leave me a comment and tell me how you get that mount? If it is not a mount, or if it is an Endwalker, I'd rather... Well, if it's in Endwalker, I'd rather figure that out myself. If it's not a mount altogether, you can go ahead and comment that down below as well. I don't think it's a mount. I've never seen anyone on it. I've never seen that. Black and red Pegasus. And I play a lot. Pretty sure I've seen most of the mounts. Yeah, I don't go looking up guides on how to get any of this stuff. I prefer to figure it out on my own. Just makes it more entertaining for me. So yeah. But if it's prior to Endwalker, at this point, I don't care. I'll take the help there. I want to figure out all the mounts in Endwalker myself, though. Please and thank you, don't comment how to get any mounts in Endwalker. From here, we follow the path northwards to Nodoneus. There we will find one of the teleporters which facilitate travel between the islands of Olympus. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have been previously granted. We only need use the devices together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? We shall. And also, as far as comments go, I would love to hear anyone's criticism. I am new to this whole YouTube thing, And that's what I'm going to be looking for. I want the criticism. I want to know what I can be doing better, maybe what other content after the story anyone would like to see. I am going to be trying to upload videos as much as possible from now on. So any ideas would be extremely helpful. Here we are, Notonias. This teleporter will take us to Calamelios. I think I said that right the first time. Okay. Here we are, Notonias. This teleporter will take us to Calamitos, Zephyros, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way, and we can soon admire the view from above. And I know I'm not the best at reading all this stuff. That is something I am working on. I really get into it sometimes, though, so I'm getting there.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by...
Spriggan.
Well, well. An Arrayus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago.
How does that make the world a better place?
Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox. Consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight. Another, superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
Oh my, is it finally time? It is. This has to be Azim.
That was too close. Are you unharmed?
Heidelin took her form.
Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you
maybe
here.
it's not. Yes, I remember.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vanar is her name, and she is the previous Azim.
Oh, that's right, because they changed names with titles.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
You know I am. Now then, you are?
You sensed something as soon as I arrived.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
She's good.
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you.
So you went to help create Heidelin. That's...
Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
Sounds rather like the Blessing of Light. Does it protect you from the enthrallment by primals, by any chance? Sounds like the Blessing of Light.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
If only you guys knew.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
Okay, so that's the only reason I can't undo it. I can actually influence. So I can change the past.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours.
Well, that's awesome! Isn't it? We should share everything we know then. This is exactly what I wanted. We save their world, and everyone wins, right? It's a different timeline, but still. It's just like Trunks going back to save Goku. Let's do it. Tell him everything.
How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
No idea.
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
Come on.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Really want to tell you.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past.
You're the embodiment of Heidelin, aren't you?
It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
This is gonna be a heavy conversation. Well, I guess it won't hit them that hard, right? Because they're in their own time. They can change it. It's not destined to happen here, it doesn't seem like. My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved crystal, and the quick-fingered aureus which made off with it. The aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its aetherial trail? That would of course lead us only to the aureus. There is no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please. Even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. Could I ask you to join the search? I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Poiton Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Yeah, I know. I've got to get better at reading more fluently. Some of these words, though, I just don't know how to pronounce, and I gotta stop and think about it for a second. And I probably still butcher it. Which is why at times I don't slow down, I just go with it. Because I do know, probably no matter what, I'm butchering the name. What is this? I'm not sure why that's over there, but moving on. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid that Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was I able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. As a matter of fact, I did. You're welcome. The crystal. Well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Yeah, I'm pretty good at. I've often been asked to do so. Oh, you too? Some of us seem destined to always be searching, for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to a whimsical successor. Yet I'm still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Olympus, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinions sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate that missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is, how strange and wonderful it is, the way one thing leads to another, wouldn't you agree? Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you would go on ahead to my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I have attended to the task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Tune. Not gonna forget this one. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please, make yourself at home while I put on some tea.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Come on, we can save Emmer out here. I hope. Yeah, this is gonna be a heavy conversation. Calamity called the final days has befallen the world. The world has been sundered, broken into shards. Mankind is being forced to flee the star. I mean, this all seems relevant. Let's talk the final days first, though.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Emmett?
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn?
So maybe this was explained previously in the story. Of course it was. I just forgot her name.
Circumstances change, of course. But it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No. There must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Save your star.
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which she must return.
So maybe when we return, we can return before Fandaniel and Xenos broke the seals?
By
Like I was
this,
saying?
it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight.
Apparently.
Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Okay, so it's a contingency plan. Obviously, you have other plans.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman.
Well, I don't know why Shino described you that way. I mean, sort of, but I stand behind your cause. I have since I've known it.
To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable?
Because I'm Azim?
Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren.
You didn't. I mean, not really.
You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is key to all this. It is. It most certainly is.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, 'tis time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. And suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest.
Damn, Emmett. I consider you a friend. So...
Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azim described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
I am Azim. Part of Azim. Shall we begin our investigations then? I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Olympus. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Midian, and I have a good idea of where we might begin. Not a door. It is a door, just can't go out it. We gotta save Amarat. This is what I need in this story. And then we're gonna have to save our world too. See you the woman standing in front of yonder building? Her name is Esmane. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Olympus. And from what I can recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insight. Go and ask your questions. I'll help with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions? For me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registration. Let's begin. Greeting, Ismane. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mistress Venat. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? Kind of person is Hermes? What are Hermes' interests? His interests? Well, he is an authority on flying life forms, and has an expansive knowledge of living creatures in general. Is that what you wish to know? How would you describe him as a person, as a colleague? He's a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. I hope that answers your question. Was there anything else? How long has Midian been here? Do you know of Midian's abilities? It's no secret that she is a highly unusual familiar. Of late, the chief often makes his rounds with her, like a mother hen raising her chick. I understand that she is able to read emotions and communicate. That was worded horribly. I'm gonna fix it. I understand that she is able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you wish you knew him better? Do you trust him? Do you wish you knew him better? The chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as is necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. Though, if you wish to learn more about Midian, you could try speaking with Timaeus, another expert in creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the banks of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Shinobu. I think we've taken enough of Ismane's time. Our investigation is off to a fine start, wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers. If you could track down the colleague Ismane mentioned. While I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during that previous conversation, you seem more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you've finished speaking with Timaeus. You don't want me to follow the stream, but I gotta go in. Yes, I am Timaeus. But please, keep your voice down. You'll startle the birds. The following event cannot be skipped. You may want to cancel. Yeah. So, what is it you wish to speak about? Is it true you are an expert on flying creations? What do you think of Chief Hermes' flying creations? Chief Hermes' work. A worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view. Others which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Why not mimic his process? Median too is a marvel then? My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Median as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise, her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Median's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will a design be registered for public scrutiny, analyzing a colleague's creation before the step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. Do you know of Dynamis and Entelechy? Dynamis and Entelechy? Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Olympus which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now, I really must return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. Okay. Back already? That was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off. You were obviously clever enough to head off any of that rambling Ismane mentioned. So have you any new findings to share? I see. Even an expert in the field had little understanding of Median's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermig's colleagues view Median as his personal project, and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis, and the entelechies which can control it. Yet, most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus, I'm inclined to stay our current course, and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And on that subject, was there aught else of note that you can tell me about Median, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? There are more like her. She had sisters. She and her sisters were created to journey to the stars and search for intelligent life. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So, these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unresolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue. One we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Perpetua Crystallini. Not far from here, just follow the path to the west. I got both of those. So yeah, as far as not looking up guides, I have not looked up anything for my Black Mage rotation. It is just me reading the skills and figuring it out, and I think I have it down pat. It's fairly simple, really. Probably not as efficient as it could be. I know it's definitely not most of the time because I mess it up, but the rotation that I have in my mind that I do mess up, I believe is pretty solid. The tower and the one further along are both parts of Media Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Ellipse's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magical, interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lessons short and see what those two archivists. Okay, I shall cut my Good Lord, I can't speak. I shall cut my architectural lessons short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Now, what was it you wished to speak with me about? The Chief Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you mean Median. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Median appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although, I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galen shared with me. Ah, Galen is my partner, and a fellow researcher here in Olympus. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Median heavensward, a host of them. For several days, she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Venat, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Pray do not mention it. As you say, my original plan was to leave after the task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you favor me with retelling of this sight which so delighted your Galen? Of course. Or, you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. At present, she should be observing a subject in Metabasis Thalassia. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's ocean, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Spinat. Even though such pursuits may continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azim. And what would Olympus be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed served as the basis of many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody the nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet with Galen in person? Then allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. It will take you up to the Skyway. And spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful. Thank you. I have opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway, and you will find yourself at the entrance to Metabasis Thalassia. Galen will be eager to share her tale with you, I am sure. Okay, so that sends me back there. I feel like I should check for Aether Current while I'm here. Yeah. Mistress Venat, just passing through. Then allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there is always an observer or two out on the upper Skyway. Hold up. Seems relatively close. That could be down there. Yeah, I don't see anything. Alright, that's farther than... Mistress Venat, I was not told to expect. We would have prepared an official welcome. please, there is no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galen, if that might be arranged. Yes, Galen, of course. I will inform her immediately. Ah, but she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This lovely view will keep us occupied until she is ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view.
Can I dye my robe white?
What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
Most of the time. As beautiful as ever.
I swear I could hear the glimmer in your eyes and the adoration in your voice. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans.
Yeah.
But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveller. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account.
Wish I could hear. Of course I know my own tales, but I'd like to hear them.
Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me, an epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true, and a presence without, immense yet intimate, fate perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. as reassuring as it was intimidating. How keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
It has its moments.
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone. Like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up. Then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Metea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
So, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. From what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others, which suggests that either someone will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. Since we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter as more likely possibility. Proceeding under that assumption, our next step should be to divine way. Why? Our next step should be to divine. Why, or even if he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Alright, we're a little over an hour into this. I'm trying to make the videos shorter, so I'm gonna do this last quest and then I'm gonna take a break, end this stream, and start a new one. I should like to visit the site from which Hermes sent forth the Matea. If we are fortunate, we might find some hint of what derives this research of his. Galen said she spotted them in the southeast, rising from an isle she could see from the edge. If we stand at that same vantage point, it should not prove too difficult to locate the isle in question. Let's take a look, shall we? I did sort of suspect Hermes might be responsible for the final days. I don't think we have enough information yet. Now, if I were conducting some mystery research, where would I go? Ah, what about that one? Have you the means to fly? 'Tis quite a distance away. Inconvenient. But hardly as insurmountable problem. To me, Argos. Good to see you again. My friend, would you mind creating a double to carry Shinobu here over to that island? stubborn creature. There is no place on this great star we have not together traveled, and still he remains obstinate in the presence of strangers. Argos has rather exacting standards, I'm afraid. What? You've ridden him before? Ah, your before, meaning my after. Not at all confusing, that. Interesting. 'Tis certainly not unthinkable. But speaking of the here and now, the quick solution is for us to face off in a sparring match. Demonstrate to him that you are capable of holding your own against me in battle, and you should convince Argos that you are worthy of his back. And besides, I might even teach you a thing or two into the bargain. You seem doubtful. But useful lesson or not, I will certainly be a moment to remember, a memory of the distant past to cherish. What say you, traveler of time? Choose your battlefield. I will do what I must. And if this memory turns out to be a bad one, choose your battlefield. Let's do this. I admire your confidence. Clear your mind and prepare your weapons. I will await you at the clearing over yonder. Shall we begin? Be warned, I'll not go easy on you. Alright, ready? Let's do it.
Let neither side hold back.
One button.
My blade sings!
Dang it.
My blade sings! Impressive. I shall have to try something different. No quarter. I see you won't be easily overcome, but neither will I. Yourself.
I love that. Oh Lord. Okay.
We've only just begun. Come at me with your all. Very well. Let us move to the final trial.
No, Lord.
Shed your burdens and show me your strength of will! You still stand. People of your time are more resilient than I had dared hope. I have seen enough.
Good bout. That was fun.
Twas my intent to finish it, but clearly I underestimated you. One would think I never learn. I made the same mistake with Azem when we first sparred. Despite being less than half my age, her strength was astounding. As is yours. 'Tis plain you have weathered considerable hardship. Far more even than your tales would suggest. It seems we have both learned much on our journeys.
Oh. Argus.
Well now, I dare say he has warmed to you. A boon to be sure. He never forgets his favorites, and is ever eager to come to their aid.
So did he remember me? He must have. It was the original, right? Argos will soon have us standing on the very spot where Media made their departure into the sky. With luck, we will learn something of Hermes' intentions. My hope is that we find no connection, no festering wish for oblivion. Then, we might have Hermes and his considerable expertise working for us rather than against us. Yeah, we can hope. We can hope. Let's see. Yeah, we're at an hour and a half here, so I'm gonna stop this stream. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a like. It helps out a lot. And I will be starting another stream here soon, so until next time, take care.